welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the 10 major interior design styles, and I wanted to make this video just in case you heard different styles floating around and you're like, what exactly is that? Or you're just trying to pick up maybe a few more tips, or you're trying to find your own style and figure out what you enjoy. And I am going to be putting up a few pictures on the screen of the styles themselves, just in case you need to see them visually. But anyways, let's go on to the video. So the first style I am going to talk about today is coastal. And so I feel like when you first think of coastal, you think of seashells and like nautical buoys, and that is the style. Now, I call that Coast Guard coastal, and what I mean by that is there's a lot of, it's a little cheap if I like, welcome to the ocean, like if that makes sense, whereas a more formal, pretty coastal would be just the idea of having a very bright and airy space, also throwing in some different blue hues, as well as wicker and other lighter whitewashed wood tones. But the whole idea is just to keep it very light and airy, as if in a Getaway, which I think is a very beautiful style. I do incorporate that a lot into the decor in our house because I love blues and I love my home to be airy and I love wicker. Boho. That's our dog. And this style takes on a lot of different styles. It can be eclectic, very relaxed, and Scandinavian, which I'll get into later. But mainly when you think of boho, you think of relaxed. You think of a lot of different textures. Think of pom-poms. There's a more neutral version, which is beiges and neutrals and like terracotta. And then there's also a more colorful version, which is more eclectic, where you're gonna have deeper reds and sort of those rust colors. And yeah, this is very relaxed. Normally the furniture will be low to the ground. It's just a very, I would say a little bit cluttered style, but it is very relaxed and comfy, and it is an amazing style. But another style that I think can somewhat be confused is Scandinavian. And this style takes on elements of that with the natural wood tones and the warmer tones as well. But it is way cleaner and it's more formal, I would say. The furniture is higher to the ground, a lot less decor, which like I said, boho is more cluttered. It's a lot more meaningful in the way that the decor is placed and more airy, less deep wood tones and lighter. And this is actually a style that I personally love. You don't see it much in our home because our home is way more traditional, but, which I also will talk about. But yes, it is a very beautiful style. You would contrast it with maybe white walls or even beige walls with beautiful light wood floors. There's a darker version of that, and there's also a more light and airy version. And now the next style I'm going to be talking about is Mid-Century Modern. And this is also a pretty popular style right now. It has a lot of deep, like kind of like this wood, I would say. You're gonna have the angled feet, pretty clean lines. It just has a very cool, edgy look to it. And you're gonna have a lot of like deep wood tones, and it's a very beautiful style. And I feel like when you go into that style, you're kind of going all in. But yeah, I do love this style. I wanted to say, when I said angled feet, I meant angled feet on like furniture. I wanted to note that the whole idea of the modern is a bit cleaner, a bit more modern. And speaking in the modern style individually, I'm not quite sure if you would count it as a style in itself or if it's more trendy. When I think of modern, I think trendy. So I'm going to talk about it in that manner. You're just gonna have the more clean lines, most trendy colors. It's very clean and it feels very updated. And the next thing I'm going to be talking about, I just have my little list down here, is Glam. Glam is it's a style that's more unique and I feel like less people have, but it is a very, I don't know, interesting style, but it can be very pretty. You're gonna have a lot of, like jewels and chandeliers, normally like lighter and deeper grays, as well as some white, a lot of velvet, a little bit more like bougie. And it's just kind of a bit more of an out there style, but a lot of people seem to be having it nowadays. But it's also a bit more like feminine, if you want to put it that way. Maybe a bit more florals in some manners, and the velvets and like even blues, like rich blues. It can take on a lot of different forms, but overall it's a very cool glam feeling, which I'm pretty sure all you guys know what that means. Next is Farmhouse, which is a very popular style right now. It's not quite my style, but it is a lot of people's. It's very like a lot of what I'm sure you guys know, Joanna Gaines, Fixer Upper, but a lot of rustic woods. It has a very eclectic feeling, like a lot of mixed metals, very cozy style, if you had to put it in one word. But yeah, it's definitely very popular right now. Just for me, it's a little bit too cluttered and wordy, but it is a very pretty style. I especially love it when Joanna Gaines decorates. I think she does an amazing job. And now the whole modern farmhouse is essentially less like real farmhouse, where it's a lot warmer tones, even a bit more cluttered, more traditional, which is the modern vibe is more black and whites and stuff like that. And you are most likely going to know a few, if not all, of these styles, but like I said earlier, I just want to go into them a bit more, and if you happen to not understand them or fully know what they are, I'm just trying to talk about it in case you're wondering. So the traditional style is, the whole like railing, very elegant. It'll always be in style, the white cabinets, a lot of like well-made solid wood pieces, generally darker woods. It's just a very homey style, and I do think it's very charming and I do love it, but just a lot of more chandeliers, like wainscoting, you know what I mean? Like it's a homey feeling, and it's probably one of the most popular styles, at least in older folk. And the next I'm going to be talking about is eclectic. And this can somehow and sometimes be associated with traditional, and I feel like, and traditional, yeah, it's a very upscale type of feeling. And that's where I feel like the eclectic kind of comes in, where eclectic is a lot of well-made like wood pieces. When you walk into an eclectic environment, it can be cluttered, but it's very interesting. You're gonna have these cool funky pieces, a lot of like metals and brass. Generally, when I think of eclectic, I feel like a darker library that it just feels cool. Like you want to go walk around, you want to see what's inside. I hope that summarizes that. And the next is industrial, and this is it's a cool style. I have thought about it a lot actually. I would say mainly it's metal, concrete. It feels very sturdy, if that makes sense. Like an old building, exposed brick mixed with like metal beams. It's very cool. It's a lot more meaningful as well. I feel like it slightly takes on the Scandinavian feel just because of how clear it can be. I could go on and on about that style because it is a bit of a harder style to explain. I also wanted to say, just because, I like glam, it doesn't mean you're completely into glam. You can like touches of glam and touches of traditional and maybe a little bit of touches of like rustic. So just because you like one style obviously doesn't mean you fully just love that style. There's a lot of like style quizzes you can take that just tell you like, you're mainly this style, but there are other parts that you enjoy in other styles. Wow, how many times can I say that word? Anyways, I hope this was a informing video, and I hope you learned something about it, and if you did, please tell me in the comments. I would love to know. And yeah, those are all the main, like the 10 main styles. Thanks for watching, and bye.